remembered as an actor for All the President's Men and The Way We Were, as a director for Ordinary People and A River Runs Through It, and as a pioneer for the Sundance Film Festival. A look back at the life and times of Hollywood giant Robert Redford, dead at the age of 89.
680 News Time 925.
You have a vision for your future, whether you're planning on updating your space to be more livable or you're thinking of new ways to add value to your home. Capital Direct is here to help you get there faster. We have a team of people with the right skills. You call Capital Direct, license 10549 at 100 New Capital. CapitalDirect.ca.
You're listening to 680 News Radio. The Blue Jays inched closer to the playoffs and the division title with a win in Tampa. And as we hear from 680's Simon Bennett, the game featured a franchise record-breaking pitching debut.
It's been a rapid ascension to the bigs of Trey Savage, rising through 4 levels of the minors this season. His first major league
form, and you can kind of tell walking off the mound the way he was conducting himself in the dugout. He was good.
He was long done when George Springer put Toronto ahead in the 11th inning. And how about Braden Fisher escaping a jam before it was over? Got it! Striking 3 in a row to end it. Toronto beat the Rays 2-1. Magic numbers: 4 to clinch a playoff spot, 7 for the American League East title. The series continues tonight. I'm Simon Bennett.
Still ahead, the market is fully pricing in an interest rate cut by the Bank of Canada after today's inflation update. Business in 60 seconds.
680 News Time 926.
This portion of 680 News Radio is brought to you by Aaron Park Lexus.
As customer service manager, Sean talks all day. So, off the clock, he prefers silence over small talk. Luckily, the Aaron Park Lexus team are pros at reading between the lines, picking up on what's said and unsaid to deliver luxury vehicles that fill in all the blanks. Sean's quiet nod as he drives away. That's his 5-star review.
Be our guest at Aaron Park. This month, during our 5-day event, get a 2% lease and finance rate reduction on the new 2026 NX at Aaron Park Lexus.
Hot water gone cold? Switch to a new tankless water heater from Enercare. Save space, energy, and enjoy reliable hot water. With Enercare Advantage, you make one predictable monthly payment, no upfront costs or repair fees, free installation, and they'll take care of your existing water heater. For a limited time, get up to $1,500 on a prepaid credit card with a new tankless water heater rental. Details at enercare.ca. Terms and conditions apply.
Enercare, experts at home.
Now the Dynamic Market Minute with our senior business analyst, Mike Epple. What are we expecting today, Mike?
We're expecting an interesting start at this opening trades here, Paul, for the stock markets. We're looking at what the bond market is pricing in for tomorrow's interest rate policy announcement for the Bank of Canada. And right now, pretty much a 100% probability, according to traders, that the central bank will be cutting interest rates by 0.25% at the announcement at 9:45 Eastern tomorrow. As following the monthly inflation gauge in from Stats Canada, the consumer price index was higher to a reading of 1.9% for August, up from July. Core reading of just above 3%. Grocery prices elevated 3.5% gain year over year, but nothing here that really is a shocker to the market. It was much anticipated, and the Bank of Canada can go ahead with an interest rate cut tomorrow, considering the recent weakness in other parts of the economy. As for the equity trades, wouldn't be surprised to see the NASDAQ open higher for the 10th day in a row. The TSX starts things off very close to an all-time record high. The Canadian dollar's up 1/5%, 72.78. Gold is at a record 37.30 an ounce. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
While other money managers are holding, Dynamic is seeing past the horizon. Because your money can't grow if it doesn't move. Learn more at dynamic.ca/active.
Hey, I'm looking for home insurance.
Wawanisa.
Oh, what about business insurance?
Wawanisa.
And farm insurance?
Wawanisa.
Oh, and I also need
Life insurance? Wawanisa. Business, farm, home, life and group, auto. Find the coverage you're looking for all in one place. Just say the word, Wawanisa. Visit wawanisa.com to find a broker today.
The end of the Canadian Cancer Society's CIBC Run for the Cure is just the beginning. Because the funds raised through the run continue to fuel life-saving breast cancer research, enable clinical trials that improve outcomes and bring you hope, and help patients every step of the way with vital support services. Join us this October 5th and make an impact that lasts far beyond. Sign up at CIBCRunForTheCure.com.
Midday show's next with Sarah Parrott and Irene Precklett. Have a great day. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jete at 9:30.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, September 16th. I'm Sarah Parrott. And I'm Irene Precklett. Here's what's making news this hour.
A Hollywood giant is gone. Oscar-winning actor and director Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. A small plane crash lands next to a soccer field in East York, and incredibly, no one was hurt. The Piper Cherokee skidded just short of Monarch Park Stadium near Coxbow, south of Danforth.
An investigation is underway in the Kingston Road and Lawrence area after a deadly shooting outside an apartment building.
Canadians are really good at throwing things. Ethan Katzberg just won hammer throw goal of the world. And the Jays get ready for game 2 against Tampa. Sports at 45.
Investors pricing in interest rate reductions by the Bank of Canada and the U.S. Central Bank. Markets starting the Tuesday trade to the upside. The Nasdaq higher for a 10th day in a row. Business at 56.
680 News Time, 9:31. It's time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together all the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
Westbound 401 delays Brock Street to approaching Salem, and then from Liverpool into Collectors to approaching Whites Road, where we had issues in the Collectors, but those have been cleared away. And then it's busy McCown to Avenue Road Express Collectors, and from the Allen to Dixon. Eastbound 401 is slow 6 north to Guelph Line, Winston Churchill to Here Ontario Collectors, approaching Here Ontario Express to the 410 thanks to lane realignment. East of the 427 to east of Kiel Express Collectors, and then it's busy from the Allen Express east of Young Collectors to the DVP. Watch out for a crash on the East 407 approaching Leslie across the 2 right lanes. Southbound 410 south of Derry, a collision in the HOV lane, delays from south of the 407, and things have improved on the Toronto-bound QEW approaching the Burlington Skyway. All lanes open there. It is slow approaching the Skyway to Fairview, but at least the stalled vehicles being cleared away. With the forecast, Carl Lamb.
A warm day on the way for us today with a guaranteed high of 25 degrees, a humid index of 27 with lots of sunshine and a light southeasterly wind. Then for tonight, it's clear. We're down to an overnight low of 13. Your guaranteed high for today is 25.
What a beautiful morning. Mainly sunny skies and 18 degrees. 680 News Time, 9:33. We have breaking news from the entertainment world where actor, director, and producer Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. Redford was Hollywood's leading man for decades and was also an influential supporter of independent films through his Sundance Institute. 680's Scott Burnett joins us with more on a look back on Redford's storied career.
For those of you too young to remember him, think of him as the Brad Pitt of his day. Good looks, smooth delivery, suave and sophisticated, and wildly popular. Robert Redford becoming one of Hollywood's most sought-after leading men, beginning his movie career in the late 50s and finding stardom through the 1970s with films like 3 Days of the Condor, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and the critically acclaimed All the President's Men. Redford also finding success behind the camera, winning the Best Director Oscar for 1980's Ordinary People.
You know, if anybody had told you a year ago that you would have been ... well, I just didn't think I was going to see this. But I'm no less grateful.
There's no word yet on a cause of death. His publicist confirming Robert Redford died at his mountain home in Utah, surrounded by loved ones. He was 89. I'm Scott Burnett.
The cost of living ticked higher last month in Canada, with the annual inflation rate coming in at 1.9% in August. 680's Mike Apple has more from the Business Centre, including what this means for the Bank of Canada's next interest rate meeting.
The country's inflation rate rose to a headline of 1.9% for August, with gas prices on a yearly basis falling, but at a slower pace than the previous summer months. And food prices are up again at a 3.5% inflation metric for that component of the CPI data. The inflation gauge this summer has largely been distorted by the cancellation of the carbon pricing on gasoline, which has helped bring down the overall headline inflation metric, whereas the core reading of inflation, taking out food and energy prices, has remained elevated up around 3%. Now, while that's at the top end of where the Bank of Canada wants to see inflation, markets are now fully pricing in a near 100% probability that the central bank cuts interest rates a quarter 0.25% tomorrow, but much of the economic data of late has been very weak, including labor market stats and a slowdown in the economy for the second quarter. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
680 News Time, 9:35. Quite the scene in Toronto's Monarch Park neighborhood, where a small plane crashed near a school last night, and luckily no one on board or the ground was hurt. 680's Kevin Meisner joins us with this story and reaction.
The plane crash landed and skidded just about 10 meters short of Monarch Park's soccer field and grandstand. The nose wheel is collapsed, the plane tilted forward, the prop resting on the ground. Mike saw the plane come through the trees in Monarch Park, but heard no engine sound.
It was silent. It came through the trees. It was almost like a